Okay, if I take my TIFF map off and I'm not viewing it, and I've left with my lithologies, my faults, and my structural data, this is what I see on screen. And so use this plus microscope to zoom into your area and get it to be full screen. And now we're going to see how to make this into a map. So what you do now is you click on view and you go layout view. Okay, and this is your map layout. You can change the page size by going either file and going to page and print setup and changing your page size here, or changing it to portrait or landscape. Or you could go over here and go change layout on this layout toolbar that appears, and you can choose all different options here. So we're on the A for landscape or A for portrait. So let's keep landscape. Okay, and so that is the size of your page. And so let's add a few things to it now. And so if you go back here, so it's actually better to do it under file and page and print size, because you can click on this option here, scale map elements proportionally to changes in page size. If you click on that, it'll change accordingly, although you won't see too many changes now. And let's just see, going back here, can we actually enter in a value? Hold on a sec. Okay, no, we can't enter in a value here, but we can change the scale. Up at the top here, you can see it's 1 in 837282, which is a bit random. So let's adjust this and change it to 1 in a million. Let's see what it does when we do a million. And if I click enter, you can see it zooms out. I could see what happens when we change it to 500,000. It's going to zoom in a lot. Probably too much, so let's make it 1 in 800,000, which is pretty much where we started. But it's nice to have a round value here for your scale. Now we're going to go to insert, and you could go here to title, and you could add in a title for your map. So let's say 2526 Rustenburg. Click OK, and your title will eventually appear on the top of your map. Okay, so the title appears at the top of the page. Now you're going to go to insert, go down to legend, and the legend wizard will open, and you're going to choose the layers that you want to include in your legend. Okay, you can see on the left hand side is all the files in this table of content. We only want to include the stuff we have created, so you're going to click next. It might take a bit of time. Okay, and the legend title, you can keep legend, click next, border. You can keep it at, for now, let's just go ahead with it and see what it looks like. Click next, and you can change the size and the shape of the symbol patch used to represent the line and the polygon feature in your legend. Select one or more legend item whose patch you want to change. So let's just see just the size. I'm not certain if this is the size of the characters, because you can see our labels here are very big. You can come and play around with this. Okay. Or if it's the actual size of the body itself. Let's just leave it 14. Feel free to come and play around with these different things. This is the layout of things, so this will become very important when you have things like supergroups, groups, formations. You would have to come and play around with this. I'll have to do another video for it sometime. Let's click finish. You can see it's busy building the legend. Okay, and you can see it's created this legend. You can drag it to the edge there. Let's see how easy it is to edit things. So obviously I don't want this one here after structural. Okay, so to get some of these things in this legend that you don't actually want displayed here to disappear, so you can see it says all other values has got a color, all other values has got a point. We actually go to the unit in the table of contents. So like for example structures, we want to get rid of this point. We go up here, we right click on it, we go down to properties, we go to symbology, and you can see this tick next to this dot Take it away and click OK, and your legend should update with that new information. Let's do the same here for lithologies and go to properties and take away this tick here next to all other values, and that goes away as well. You can go and change if you want these headings appear in your table of contents. You could go right click and I think under properties, let's just check, general, you can actually change the label here. You could also not make it visible. Let's see, oh, and it's taken away all of them, so don't do that. So really, something you got to do is just play around, and if you're not sure how to do it, Google it. Okay, so here's our map with a semi-usable legend. Let's insert a north arrow. So how you go insert, north arrow, a whole bunch of different options come up. Please don't use a lame, super detailed one. Just keep a boring one. Even this is fine. Let's click OK. And it should insert it somewhere. Oh, there we can see it. You can move it out the way. So it's off to the side. You can also insert a scale bar. So go insert, down to scale bar. It really is about preference, but I like this one, alternating scale bar 2. Properties, click over here, and let's just make sure that our division units are in kilometers or meters if you've got a really small map. And our label, I'm fine with K, the full word, or you could make it just KM. Number of divisions, it's currently set at 4. Let's just see what it looks like, and we can always come back and change it. Okay, and if we click OK, it should come up on the map once we click the second OK, and we can also drag it out of the way, either below the map or on the map. It's also preference. Let's insert a scale text. So if we go insert, scale text, it's going to tell you or tell people what the scale is up here. You can, lots of different options here, but obviously keep it in kilometers, don't change it to feet and miles. I'm going to click for this top option there, and let's go to properties, and under format, it's just taking a while to load. Okay, sorry, not under format, go under scale text. Click here on, instead of having an absolute scale, let's click on relative, and we're going to tell it that our page units are in centimeters and our map units are in meters. And the style, okay, never mind about the rest of it. Let's click OK, and let's click OK, and you can see it's giving us that information. Also, maybe you don't need to put something like this on the map. Speak to your supervisors what information that they would like you to have on the map. And then let's put a grid on top of the map so that we can easily find things or georeference them in future. And so what you do now, okay, you go right click up here under table of contents on layers, go to properties down at the bottom. Okay, and you go to the grid tab, and you're going to go here to new grid, choose graticular, divides the map by meridians and parallels, click on next. Under appearance, click ticks and labels. Again, this really is personal preference. And under place parallels and meridians, this usually defaults you depending on the size of your map. So let's leave it as is. You can always come back and change it. And under axes and labels, let's just leave it as is and click next. And let's click finished and click apply. And let's see what it looks like. Okay, so you can see what it's done is it's given you coordinates around the edge, and it's given you crosses where there's at those coordinates, which is great for people in future if they want to georeference your map. It makes it so useful. If we click here on properties, let's just see if we can change the size of the labels so that we've got the bigger coordinates around the edges. Okay, so under labels, let's increase the size to 12 and see if that helps. And apply. Okay, so you can really play around with your label size here. Click OK. You could also move this off to the side a bit. Just make sure it's on your page, because obviously then you can't export it. We can also decrease the size of our legend. Okay, and then the last thing is how to export the map. So let's go File, Export Map. Okay, the type you can change here. There's a whole bunch of different options. We're going to choose PDF today. I'm going to save this in the folder where I've got all my data, this ArcGIS tutorial. So I'm leaving that title as is. Make sure it's a title you'll be able to find in future. So let's click Save. Do you want to see there's no other options here? Save. Okay, that was a bit weird. It saved it, but it didn't really give me options on the data quality. So let's do it again. So go File, Export Map. Okay, and then this time you can see it saved it already, but now I've got to, let's resave it. I can actually choose the resolution here. So resolution 300 dots per inch is usually sufficient to give good resolution. You just got to be careful of file size, because often it can get very big. So you just got to weigh off the two. Okay, and then if you click on Format here, another option that you can use, which you'll have to speak to Matthew Brayshaw to explain to you, under picture symbols, go to Vectorize Layers with Bitmap Markers and Fill, and also click on Convert Marker Symbols to Polygons. And now you can click Save, and it's going to replace it. That's great. And you can see at the bottom there was a window, and it's 100%, so let's open it up here, and we should have our map. Okay, and you can see it's still got the bright blue around it, because in Arc I had them selected. You would have to go back here to Video and Data View and possibly unselect the shapefiles. If I go here to the lithologies and I right click and I go to Selection and I go Clear Selected Features, you can see it's taken it away. And if I zoom in again and I go here to Layout View, my map doesn't have them now. So you can really see how much Arc literally takes whatever you've done and shows it in this map view. I could go and change the size of these dips. It would make it look a bit more reasonable. But now this is the beauty part of things. I would move this down, editing your map to look good.